weather seems nice again today. And with that in mind, what did I read today? How about this one? You've often heard a lot of stories where drone operators, they're flying their drone, perfectly legal and all that, but because of things like hysteria, people think they're being spied upon. And how about this, where someone actually came out with a gun on, I guess, the drone pilot? Like this guy posted here yesterday, a family member of mine was threatened with a gun and shot at for doing his job. From the sounds of it, he was filming, I guess, real estate, and this guy took exception just to seeing, I guess, a drone in general. So you can see in the video, it seems like, I guess, the drone operator tells the guy what he's doing is, I guess, legal and all that, but the guy kind of implies, from what I gather, he doesn't really care. And you can see the video first, and then you can read here, like, the guy's comments.
Yeah, it was me, sir. Sorry? It was me.
I was shooting at it.
Well, that's illegal.
Yeah, well, don't fucking fly over my house.
No, it's totally legal for me to fly over your house, sir.
I don't care. I'm going to fucking
Please,
fire at
sir.
it. If you bring it
Please,
over my
sir.
house, I will fire at it. You do not come over and take pictures of just hovering above our house.
Taking pictures of this
You
house.
are right over our garden. Now, fuck off.
Okay.
If you do it again,
Yeah.
I will fire at it again. I took 3 shots
Don't
at
point
it and
that
I
gun at
missed.
me.
Don't point a
Point
drone
that gun
at me. Don't say that.
So this is what happened apparently from what this guy wrote. It says, a family member of mine is a licensed commercial drone pilot and films properties for estate agents. He's often challenged by neighbors who aren't happy with their property being filmed and always records the interaction to cover himself. After a civil conversation, he reassures members of the public that their property isn't in the footage and advises them that what he's doing is completely legal and provides the necessary paperwork to support this and shows how the drone is always above the legal limit of 50 meters. Normally it ends peacefully and he carries on with his work. This time he was threatened with a gun and shot at for doing his job. Now, to my understanding too, for clarification, I believe they mean shot at, not at the person in general, but more as a warning in the ground or something like that. It says the video ends following the guy poking my family member with a gun and smashing his drone case, all with his finger on the trigger, at which point they both entered into a physical struggle as he thought the guy was really about to shoot him. Although with this description you could argue maybe he was actually aiming at him. It says the man shot at the floor during the struggle, only missing him by inches. He was able to disarm this madman and threw the gun away, at which point he attempted to retrieve the gun. Thankfully, my family member was able to kick the gun away from the man. He then jumped into his car and fled the scene. And here's kind of the crazy thing too, I guess. Like it says here, the police actually arrested him, and it says, but then was released back into the public less than 12 hours after the incident took place. Why, is that considered, I guess, a minor incident or something like that in that area over there? Holy cow, a guy bringing out a gun, shooting and so forth. So who's in the right and who's in the wrong in your opinion? There's two sides of the perspective. You could, one, say, hey, you shouldn't be, quote, flying around those areas because people don't know. You could be spying on them and so forth, so they have a right to be that aggressive. The other end of the spectrum would be the guy's doing absolutely nothing wrong, and if he's doing everything legally, it's only your own paranoia, then that's not an appropriate way to react overall. To me, it just sounds like hysteria again. People thinking they're being spied on and all that. And how about this one? Apparently there's more news about things like military drones and all that. This one says, Iran tested its combat and reconnaissance drones. State media reported amid US concerns over the possible supply of Iranian-made unmanned aircraft to Russia for use in the war in Ukraine. So I guess you can see this video and all that. It seems like a lot of countries are doing that for whatever reason, releasing videos and trailers of all their weapons. Is this just a way to flex again? Just tell people, hey, don't mess with us. And like this one says, the United States said earlier this month that Russia officials were being trained in Iran as part of an agreement on the transfer of drones between the two countries and accused Tehran of planning to supply hundreds of unmanned aircraft to Moscow for use in Ukraine. Iran's foreign minister denied the claim last month, including in a phone call with his Ukrainian counterpart. Iran has developed a large domestic arms industry in the face of international sanctions and embargoes that bar it from importing many weapons. I guess ultimately it does come down to money as well. If there's money to be made, then they'll be making more drones and so forth. And when will it end? Who knows? right. See you guys later.